Back in November of 2022, I visited Japan, and on the way to bring my daughter to elementary school, we passed by this abandoned building, which looks like it was used to house some shops on the ground floor with maybe some living quarters above it. This building fascinated me with the mystery of what types of shops were in there and why the building was abandoned. So I had to make a photo of it with the plan to build a miniature model when I got back home. This is Pacific Coast Miniatures. I'm Mark, so let's get started. In this first video of a series, I'm going to build a 3D model in SketchUp based on the photo so that I can make the most accurate physical scratch-built model. SketchUp has a feature called Match Photo, so first step is to load the photo I took into a new document. Notice the red and green dashed lines. These are guides that I'll move to match lines that are in the photo going to the vanishing points. The green ones go to the right vanishing points and the red ones to the left point. I also established the origin in the front leftmost corner. A bit hard to see because of some of the vegetation there, but I gave it my best bet as to where the corner lies. Once I have those established, I started drawing lines on the photo to indicate where the building sits. First the front, and then by orbiting slightly, I'm able to see the model without the photo in the way, and then I can use the push-pull tool to basically make a box. Now I originally wanted to build the whole building and even grabbed a photo of the side of the building from Google Street View. But later, as you'll see, I realized something that made me change my mind about that. Onto the front facade. The second floor windows with their shutters are a focal point, so I want to make sure I get those on the model with the correct size and placement. You'll notice how all the lines I'm drawing are parallel to the axes. And then I'm also doing this central divider using the push-pull tool. And since the windows are the same size, a simple copy is made for the other window and shutter. It doesn't line up exactly with the photo, but good enough. And then there's a central bump out in the middle of the front wall that I also wanted to capture. Looks like it used to have some signs on it perhaps, and it provides a small roof over the doors and windows on the ground floor. It also has a small sloped roof of its own, which I put in. I'm also outlining some of the other features on the ground floor, such as some more dividers where the wall juts out. As well as some lines showing where the doors and windows are. I also had a look at some screenshots I did from Google Street View and made sure that I got everything correct that I couldn't see in the original photo I took. Last step on the front are those signs I mentioned. I'm just drawing them as rectangles, but when I build a model, I'll be sure to incorporate the rounded corners. Okay, so now for that problem I mentioned earlier. This wall looks a bit odd, and then I checked out a different view in Google Street View. You can't see the full sidewall from this angle. I had a look at the overhead view, and as you can see here, the building is actually not a rectangle at the back. For some reason, the side walls are angled in. I really didn't want the extra work of modeling this, so I decided to just cut the model in half and model just the front part. So a bit of chopping and the problem is solved. I still have the option one day of going back and modeling the rear part if I want. So now I can flesh out some of the details on the side. I especially am excited to be able to model this very sad looking signboard where the plywood has delaminated and you can see the frame behind it. I did model this divider, but in hindsight might not actually add it to the physical model. I decided to also add the roof with its overhangs. Probably didn't need to do that, but it makes the 3D model look better, and it only took a minute or two. Some of the faces on the model were inverted, so I reversed the faces so that the final elevation plans will be easier to follow. And the last step was to scale the model to 1/48th scale, which is a scale I decided to use for the physical model when I build it. In order to do that accurately, I based the door height at 78 inches, which seems to be a standard height for doors in Japan. At 1/48th scale, that works out to about 1.625 or 1 5/8 of an inch. Using the scale tool in Sketchup, I was able to scale the model down so that the door is at 1 5/8 inch high. In case you're wondering, the dimension is mirrored as this version of Sketchup has a bug in it that causes all dimensions to be reversed. Just out of curiosity, I wanted to see how long the building would be. A bit over 8 inches, not bad. As an aside, I did compute what N scale would be, which is the scale my model railroad is in. That probably would have made for a tiny building, as the doors would only have been 1/2 an inch high. I might make another model in N scale once I have the 1/48th inch scale model done. Final step is to generate some PDF files of the front elevation and the side elevation. It's a simple matter of using parallel perspective, choosing zoom extents, and then choosing the right camera view. And then using my Mac's built-in PDF save utility in the print options. And here they are printed out. I can't wait to get started on building the model next week, and will of course film that for you. So be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified when the build videos come out. If you enjoyed seeing this 3D modeling process, hit that like button and let me know if this is something I should do for all of my future projects. Thank you for watching.